with the Bertha making a lot of noise. Again, we're out in the, oh my God. Again, we're out in the open. We might get shot from other enemies. But tip number one, for those of you who don't know this, don't stand behind a big Bertha. What is going on, YouTube? Savage here. In today's video, we're gonna be teaching you guys at how to get better in Warzone Solos, specifically how to stop wasting time and find more players to kill, and also how to win your gunfights more efficiently. Most of the time that Warzone players are killed in gunfights is usually because of mistakes that were made by either you or the enemy that you're fighting. So the purpose of this video is to enlighten you guys on those mistakes and teach you guys how to work around them and improve your skill in Warzone. But if you do enjoy the video or learn something new, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel today, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay. All right, just like any video we start with here recently, I kind of want to toy with the enemy a little bit just to judge reaction timing, aim accuracy, way they rotate, shit like that, how they counter me just running around in circles aimlessly. It's a good way to kind of learn your enemy, you know? I'm gonna let him kill me in the end, but he's got to work for it. As you see here in the kill cam, his reaction time seems like it's on point. Right off the bat, I want to discuss his ADS sensitivity. As you guys saw, the aim assist helped him lock to my body, but when I did die, he instantly pulled the crosshair to the right hand side. He definitely needs to turn on his ADS sensitivity and correct those settings, because not all the time will aim assist help you as drastically as it did for him in that gameplay right there. All right, but here we are now with Renial, and there are a lot of people over at prison. Now, I'm never a huge fan of going prison unless you have the helicopter. If you guys come here to get the chopper, that's on you guys. Huge risk versus reward. The risk is slow gameplay, because from here on out, you're gonna have to be rotating. Actually, this is a nice circle, so it may work out in our favor. But if you guys want to get aggressive and you guys want to up your kills, whether you're going for 20, 10, or even just trying to get 5 kills, this is not usually a recommended spot because the amount of levels and tiers that are here. In his gameplay, if he's going to sit here, you're going to notice he's just going to stay on the high ground the whole time and try to pick off enemies. He may get a kill, he may get a knock, he may get a crack, but unless he actually goes super aggressive and dives down there to go after these kills, I don't see him breaking 5 kills. Now, I may be wrong. There are exceptions to the rules. If enemies just happen to run out in front of him wanting to die, of course, that's an option. But again, this is usually a slower play style is when you guys land here. This is usually a for sure tale that we're gonna have some slow gameplay. Also, as you can see from the objectives, all we have are most wanted bounties and of course 1 supply run. Big Bertha driving around trying to do something. I'm not really sure the idea to that. First off, they grabbed a Bertha to come here. Again, this is not a spot where you want to go with any strategy, whether you're playing slow and passive. This is honestly a nightmare of a place to fight because, again, of different levels of tiers. You have the basement area where the prison cells are at. You have, of course, the main level where the helicopter spawns, and of course, all the levels to this castle. So you run a huge risk of sitting here waiting for an enemy to come to you. 1, he may never come to you, so we're just wasting time, and it sounds like he just died. And 2, you run a risk of someone else sitting on the towers might snipe us in the head. Now, if you guys are coming here for like an aggressive start, again, not a huge fan of it, but there are a lot of people that land here. It looks like there's a decoy going off below us. You can tell it's a decoy because, well, we don't see any tracers. I really don't hear any audio. And also, it's just staying in the same spot. It is underneath us. I don't think he's realized that yet. And slowly, you know, the longer we wait, the longer we sit here waiting for players to come to us, the more opportunity they have to kill each other off. So when we originally started spectating him, it looked like there were about 3, 4, maybe even 5 players, especially with that Bertha driving up. But now, because we're just holding our ground, waiting for people to come to us, which is not the play to do, we're probably going to lose out on all these kills. And again, just have a very, very slow start. Now, those of you players not trying to go out there and break world records or break PRs, you're just trying to get a little bit more kills under your belt. Again, not a recommended strategy. All right, here we are finally going after somebody coming in from the gulag. They're going to grab the Bertha. This may end real badly for us. Oh, that's unfortunate, brother. Not really sure of the Bertha play right now, I'm going to be honest. Looked like he was going to go for the jump. And Yeah, I'm really curious to see how he's going to play this. Hold up 1 second. Now, the problem with us chasing a Bertha out in the open is the Bertha's making a lot of noise. So with the Bertha making a lot of noise, other players may have an option to look towards the Bertha. And sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm not really feeling good right now. I'm pretty sick, but it's going to be okay. We'll still have some weird moments. But with the Bertha making a lot of noise, again, we're out in the, oh my God. Again, we're out in the open. We might get shot from other enemies. But tip number 1, for those of you who don't know this, don't stand behind a big Bertha. Come on, man. You learned that in grade school. There's a reason why your mom has you hold her hand before you cross the street. Come on, dude. Come on. All right, but now here we are on the Smith, rocking 3 kills. Going for a scav. Now look, if you grab a scav and it happens to direct you here, that's on you guys. I'm gonna be 100% honest. If I grab any objective and it tells me to go here, 100% of the time I'm gonna avoid it. I'm going to avoid it, whether it's a bounty, a recon, scav, whatever the case is. Prison, again, is just a cluster. It's an absolute cluster. And as you guys can see by the gameplay. So again, guys, the purpose of this video is to show you guys how not to waste time in solos. A lot of you guys, you know, hey Savage, how do I increase my solo kills? Well, you got to stay away from areas like this. There are areas in this game that were designed to be a bad place to be, right? For some reason, when newer players play this game, they have this sense that, is he frozen? Is he stuck? They think they see the castle, they see prison, and they think to themselves, this is an awesome strategical point. It's not. It's absolutely terrible. It's the worst. I'd rather be downtown. Not really sure what he's doing right now, besides wasting time. Again, guys, look, if you ever find yourself in a position like this, you're like, I have no idea what to do, where to go. Bro, there's objectives everywhere. We have gas closing in right now. It looks like it's going to be a lumber or maybe even dive to an array type of ending. The center of the circle's over lumber, but we have seen circle shift before, and since it clearly can't shift to the right side, it may shift a little bit more array, maybe stadium, but God, I hope not. But again, dudes, go for an objective. If you ever find downtime, or if you're ever looking for enemies, just go for an objective. 9 times out of 10, when you do an objective, you're going to run into an enemy. You do a recon, it may draw enemies to you, or as you're traversing to the recon, you may run into some players. Same thing with a bounty. That's clear, right? Marks a player, go fight his ass. Duh, that's pretty easy. So right now, Smith is stuck in the forever looting loop that a lot of players find themselves in. Remember, guys, battle royales, none of them have ever been intended to be a looter shooter. It is intended to land on the ground, grab necessary items, talking about a couple of plates, maybe a gun you can use or you feel confident with, and then move on. A lot of people think to themselves, well, you know, I got to get my loadout. Savage tells me to get my loadout. All these streamers get their loadout. And yeah, you can. But again, we wasted so much time. We have a free loadout right here, right? There's no reason to grab anything. No reason to grab money. No reason to grab ammunition. Grab your guns first and foremost and roll on out. Now, unfortunately for Smith, again, we're rocking 3 kills. It's early game and there's only 60 players left. This is going to be a very, very slow game. But again, that's why I really don't play solos recently, because solos is usually this slow. Now, using the UAV, we do have gunshots in front of us. And as you guys can see here, this guy's floating in the air. You can tell because there's a arrow above us and we're laying prone. So that indicates, of course, he's floating above us. And of course, these guys have arrows below us, which means they're on elevation lower than us, which is pretty much a given because we're on a nice mountain. I don't know. He seems to be doing something on the side. I'm going to be honest. All right, we see traces going towards a red barn coming from the hill. We see the enemy right there. We pop dead silence. Not really sure why. We have an opportunity to shoot the enemy in the back. We're going to try to sneak up on them instead, which is very risky because if the enemy turns around and we're out in the open, we're extremely vulnerable. Now, we got lucky that the enemy had bad aim, but again, we left decent cover to come here, be on the lower ground of the enemy just to push closer to him. Because why? Because we were not confident in our gunshots. The reason why the enemy just closed that massive gap is because he didn't feel confident with his own aim and accuracy, which at least he acknowledged that and pushed closer. But before you start shooting an enemy, you want to try to navigate, again, using trees, rocks, ridges to protect you. Here we are again trying to contest the guy in the barn out in the open in the middle of the field. Ends up working out because the enemy's not peeking at all for whatever reason. And now we're crouch walking. This, again, is something you do not ever want to do. Remember, it's not just a one-on-one, guys. We have entire maps of people coming towards us. All right, we need to switch to another weapon. Unfortunately, he's got the Diamati's. Use your tracker to your advantage, my guy. You just saw the tracker. You literally just, you saw the tracker footsteps, brother. All right, in this position here, he had 15 bullets left in his other gun. He needs to go ahead and swap to his weapon and finish the fight. He ends up finishing it with the Diamati's. Doesn't matter. He had a little bit of confidence in that. But again, guys, if you're stuck in the reload loop and you're in the middle of a 1v1 gunfight, even if your main weapon has half a magazine or a quarter of a magazine, it's better than popping a reload out in the open on the low ground. Smith again got very lucky in that situation because the enemy lacked aim and accuracy. But from a strategical standpoint, that was a nightmare. You got to change your weapon. You got to learn to YY and get your ass out of bad positions. All right, so here we are now rocking 5 kills in pretty much running farmland right now. We got a most wanted bounty at prison. Again, most wanted bounties, great to hawk down, but I would not go here to hawk him down because he's going to be sitting up here like a baby back bitch. And there's no doubt about that. You know, players, man, some players are really weird in this game. I'm not sure why. You know, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety with battle royales. It is what it is. That's why there's a lot of hype behind BRs, because the risk versus reward is extremely great. Here we have a vehicle going to the buy station. Never mind. There he is. Not sure what he was doing, I'm gonna be honest, but we got a rose skin who's extremely accurate, and he was able to play the hay bales as cover. Coming in the building right now. We need to swap to our close range weapon. The enemy's coming behind us. We need to swap to our close range weapon. Don't play it out here in the open. This is crazy. Windows breaking behind us. He's coming back down. Not really a fan of him having Diamati's also. Ghost is awesome, guys. Ghost is awesome. But in my opinion, my humble opinion, holy shit, I never recommend picking up Ghost off my first loadout. All right, Holmes goes down. Holmes, you know, is playing it to the best of his ability, but he walked through the doorway as opposed to slide canceling through the doorway, which led Smith to an extremely easy kill, just barrel stuffing him with the Diamati. Again, guys, no matter how good you are at the game, you will eventually get killed by a bad player. It's the nature of BRs. Just because you get killed by somebody doesn't make them better than you. It just makes them better than you in that specific situation. Again, I believe the rose skin had a lot more animosity behind him, a lot more aggression. But again, because he made a simple mistake of just walking through a doorway and not clearing his corners, it cost him his life. Not sure exactly what's going on with his loadout either. He's really sticking with the Diamati's. It's working out for him. If it works, I guess use it. But I definitely would have probably picked up Homeboy's close range weapon. And here we are now going back towards the edge, and we absolutely get blown away by a ground loot PPSH by Udia. Damn. Now again, Udia in this situation needs to pick up another weapon. He can keep the PPSH and maybe a better variant than the Diamati's, but definitely utilize that assault rifle. Here we have a guy. I mean, guys, crouched in the open, staring at nothing. If you guys don't know where enemies are at, there's no reason to take cover like that. I don't understand why people do that. I will not take cover unless I know where enemies are. This guy was just scanning and still hiding. Now we do have sight on an enemy. I would have definitely live pinged it and then maybe, I don't know, gone and hawked him down. I'm still a firm believer. If you know where an enemy is, you need to go ahead and fight him, because if you let an enemy survive and you end up playing the game a little bit longer, that enemy that you let live may come back to haunt you. He may come back to kill you. So never let an enemy get away from you unless you're in an absolute shitty position. If you're in a bad position, of course, don't fight. But again, guys, don't forget to use code SAVAGE when you guys want to try Sneak Energy. This stuff is clean cut, and I live and breathe by it. I drink 1 or 2 a day. Gets me through the day. No crash. Super excited. Even though I'm sick as shit right now, I'm still here able to put out a little bit of energy to get the job done. So guys, again, use the link in the description below and make sure you use code SAVAGE at checkout to let them know who sent you by. We hear gunshots to 300 right now. This is another thing that we see a lot. Now, I'm not against going in buildings to peek out the windows to kind of scan the area. But you don't want to sit here and sit in the building. All right. We're wasting munitions for no ammo at all. I guess I'd honestly pick up that plate box. I think everyone's in the same boat with that one. Plates are a lot more, I don't want to say a lot more important. Ammunition is very important, but when you're already rocking such a heavy ammo count, you might as well swap it out. You're going to need those plates probably more. We have an enemy going inside right here. This is going to be a tricky fight. We're sitting inside with our entire body exposed in the window. So if another enemy happens to look at this building, which again, as you're navigating, you should definitely be looking at all windows and doorways as you're approaching or navigating. But we run a huge risk in getting shot in the face and killed. Now we have a decision to make. Do we go in there and push them, or do we sit here and camp and wait for the enemy to once again come to us? Oh, there's another one right there back in the, yep. It's a little slow reaction time on that, but he definitely saw it. Again, guys, stop falling in this habit. A lot of bad habits in these videos, a lot of bad habits that we see day in and day out. We also have another gunfight going on. So there's actually 3 players in these 2 buildings, 4 including us in these 3 buildings. What do we do with this knowledge? You push in, man. You clean up these kills. While those 2 enemies are fighting, they're going to be broken plates. People are going to be plating up. Use that time to go in there, push up, and get that kill. We have someone reloading below us, it sounded like. Did y'all hear that? Pretty sure someone's reloading below us. We're about to get snuck. We're about to get snuck. It's coming, boys. Just wait for it. Again, just holding these angles. This is absolutely absurd. Not a smart play. If you guys want to increase your gun skill, and that's the #1 question I get all the time, is how do I get better in gunfights? You got to get in gunfights, guys. You cannot keep playing like this, trying to use lady luck to your side. It doesn't work like that, guys. You have to just force yourself out there, get aggressive, start working yourself. Here we have the guy in the shack now going to be shooting at another enemy that's in the attic again. Oh, I was gonna say, again, we could push up there and try to third party, and now that they're actually in a 1v1, again, go ahead. They're gonna be wasting ammo, popping reloads, getting plates off, middle of a fight, and we're just allowing them to kill each other off, take one of those kills away from us, and at the same time, replate up, reload their guns before we're able to do anything. Always try your best to use someone's misfortune to your advantage. Going back to the gunfights, once they kill each other, one of the enemies, a survivor, is going to have to reload his guns, and he's going to have to plate up. Use that time. Use that time to push in there, shit down that kid's throat. Here we are running out in the open with our entire body exposed. Even though we're using the cluster to suppress the enemy can still peek. The enemy still has the bottom level to that building where he can look at us. I don't like the fact that we have our entire back exposed to what's safe right now. So anyone who's sitting in the circle gatekeeping, they can see us clearly. Again, we just made a lot of noise with that cluster strike. Not really good strategy. We're sitting here just, again, waiting for the enemy to come to us. Why do players have a fear inside them to not go to the enemy? Right now, we technically are in a gatekeeping position, but it's a very dangerous one because, again, our back is exposed. Kind of wasting a stun. Not a huge fan of that. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't even a stun. I didn't even look. That's on me. Enemy pretty oblivious to where we're at right now. He definitely should have seen the tracers. Wasting another one. We know where the enemy's at. Not sure of why we're doing that. All you have to do is not peek the sniper. Wait for the enemy to come to you, because he's in the gas, and then you can get an easy kill. If we keep peeking this fight and he's got a sniper glint aimed at your face, again, sniping's very easy in this game. He's gonna knock you most of the time, and as you guys saw there, that's exactly what happened. So let's recap. All right, let's talk about that gunfight right there. So what we did was completely wrong. It ended up costing him his life, but it costed him his life from the guy who was trying to gatekeep, not from the enemies behind him like I was originally thinking. So how we played that fight wrong is, again, we moved to cover to protect ourselves from the enemy, which was smart, but again, our entire back inside was revealed to farmland. So we had a huge shot, a huge chance to getting shot in the back. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was running back towards the enemy. One, we left our hard cover to go fight the enemy out in the open. And two, we were wasting a lot of just, first off, let's talk about the tacticals. Don't use snapshot grenades, guys. They may be awesome. You may enjoy them, but I promise you stuns will be a lot more crucial. We would have stun in that situation. We would have stunned the enemy. We would have been able to kill him easily. And on top of that, we already knew what the enemy was, and we still threw a snapshot because it was out of bad habit. All right, but going to the main fact, a sniper. When you guys see a sniper glint and you're in a position where the enemy has to come to you and the gas is forcing him in, what do? You wait. You wait patiently. A lot of players lack patience in gunfights. Some gunfights you want to win fast, absolutely. But if you're challenging a sniper rifle glint and he's in a bad spot and he needs to move out soon, just wait. Just wait, kind of peek up and make sure he's not rotating on you. That way you can keep eyes on the enemy. So when he runs, you can start ADSing and firing at the enemy. You don't want to stay crouched behind cover and just wait patiently for the enemy to walk to you. Again, pop up and try your best to maneuver quickly. The longer that you reveal yourself, the more chance the enemy has to snipe you in the face. So in that position right there, I would have just waited patiently as I'm peeking both sides, changing my position, forcing the enemy to transition his crosshair, delaying his reaction time, and delaying the chance for him to actually deliver the headshot. All right, so here we are spectating Brooks, rocking 6 kills. He's slide canceling, which is decent for movement, but one thing I'm seeing wrong is he's not scanning. As he's going to the building, he didn't look right or left. He wasn't peeping the windows. He wasn't looking at anything. But here we are again, relying on the heartbeat sensor. I will say his clearance corner is relatively nice. Didn't check the right side though. Not a fan of that. And yeah, it's impossible sometimes to check every corner, but you got to try. You have to be aware of the building layout. You have to be aware of where people may be at. You have to be aware of everything. Awareness is key when it comes to shooters in general, but especially BRs. We have 9 enemies left, and again, a relatively big circle. That's the unfortunate nature of solos. We do have a Bertha here, so that's a giveaway that there's an enemy at this building. There may be another enemy camping across from by the buy station. That's for sure. But when you look at the circle, this is the spot where I think I'd want to be at. Out here, of course, as you guys know, hopefully this is a no-no. Very little cover. The ridges really won't help you, especially against this high ground right here. And then when you do have to rotate, the buildings are going to be perfect gatekeeping positions. So if you look at the circle and your first thought was, I'm going to go over here and lay prone in a bush, get that out of your head, you did it wrong. Again, even these buildings here, not a fan of that. The Bertha sitting here, it may work out for him. It is center of the zone. But again, when you're center of the zone, you're going to be taking gunfire possibly from every angle. And here we go. Wow, weird. Oh my God. It's almost like I'm hacking. Holy shit. Again, guys, just common knowledge, reading the map, reading the terrain, and reading essentially what players do. If you guys play this game enough, you have an understanding of how players play this game. So we know where 2 of the enemies are. We have 5 unaccounted for. And again, this is where I want to be at. It's the high ground. There's cover, there's trees, there's terrain. And no matter where you need to rotate to, you got a possibility to do it. The only downfall to being up here is if for some reason the circle does favor these buildings and they're in the gatekeeping position, you will probably die. But that's going to rely on your aim and your accuracy and how bad those enemies are. There are times where strategy may kill you, but no strategy is foolproof. That's why we throw you guys in different situations every single day. And that's why these videos hopefully teach you guys on different scenarios and different situations. Not a fan of us holding this angle. Again, dude, I'd want to rotate to here, but I think in his mind, he wants to see where the circle's going to rotate to. Not really a bad decision, but because of our elevation, how exposed we are, I don't know if I'm a fan of this. We don't have a huge risk to dying because, again, there's only 5 enemies that may have sight on us. All right, just like this. Again, even if you're on this high ground right here, rotating down will be a struggle. This is going to be an unfortunate circle no matter what. We have some rocks that we could work, which is probably going to be your best bet. But the downfall to those rocks is, again, the high ground. So in this position here, play the circle slow. Most of the time I tell you guys, don't let the circle force you in, but don't let it force you in. Just play the edge of it. That way, if you're playing the edge, these guys get knocked off the hill, the high ground gets reduced, and now you're better off hiding behind the rocks or taking position behind the rocks in order to continue on in the game. Gunshots going off to the left. We need to go ahead and take advantage of this. If we can get a pick for whatever reason, go ahead and do so. We're blinding ourselves right now being in our scope as well. Stay out of your scope. We're shooting. What are we shooting at? Do you see a guy? I don't see a guy. Oh my God, bro. Yo, he literally saw tracers going to that spot and still crouched, walk the right shield, looking the opposite way. Pay attention to suppressors. Get a headset or some kind of audio device, your speaker, something that has directional sound. I think everything in 2021 should have directional sound. I may be wrong on that though. All right, here we are going out in the open. Very risky, but I do believe it's the play. Again, we have some rocks right here. We need to watch our left-hand side though. We're very vulnerable right now. Our entire left-hand side is exposed. I don't like this. We know that there's an enemy in here and here. These guys will fight in about 6 seconds and one of them will die. So that will leave 1 player and 1 unaccounted for. At least peep at these buildings. You might be able to see someone creeping around. As still as we are too behind this rock, we run a huge risk of getting shot in the head. Huge risk getting shot in the head. It's very concerning that he's not even scanned or ADS on the hill to our left-hand side. And oh, now we're making another run for it. Very surprised the 2 guys in the building didn't fight. Heart beating. You saw that? I don't believe anyone's to our 76, to our right hand side. I may be wrong, but I don't believe anybody would be out there in the open like this. We do have good positioning. Oh, I was completely wrong. Good shit. All right. Brooks coming up out of position. Not a fan of this at all, guys. Remember, we might be able to get an easy kill, but we run a huge risk getting shot by the enemy. Played up as you run, my guy. I don't know why the enemy stopped shooting at us, but he did, and it saved our lives. Again, we left position to get an easy kill. We have circle favor. Why would we leave our position to get a kill and run a risk of, one, revealing ourselves to the enemy, and two, possibly dying? Right now, as you're peeking, right now as you're plating, you need to be peeking both sides because enemy may be closing the gap. But he's not. He's crouch walking in the open, and that's what it is. But let's recap that ending real quick. All right, now let's talk about this ending here. This ending was it was ballsy. We won the game, but we really shouldn't have. When you guys are starting to up your KD and you're getting harder to your lobbies, or you're not upping your KD and a reverse booster comes in your lobby, you're gonna need to know these tactics to avoid getting killed. Remember, when you get to the end of the game, most of the time, not all the time, but at least 50% of the time, the players at the end of the games are the best ones in that match. So you need to know what you're doing in order to deliver a final kill. We had position behind the rock. We knew the enemy was over there laying prone on the hill. We should have just waited for the gas to push him out once again and got the kill off. When we left our cover and we ran in the open to go get that easy kill, what actually happened? Well, we left our cover, we put ourselves out in the open, and again, we gave that other enemy that we had no idea where he was at a chance to shoot and an opportunity to kill us. Fortunately for us, for whatever reason, he instantly broke our armor, instantly got us down to 20% health, and he stopped firing. I don't know why. I'm going to assume the enemy did not have a full magazine for whatever reason, which is a mistake on his part. When we move back to cover, the next mistake on the enemy's part is a mistake that he was crouch walking in the open. I don't know why he hit a tree right there to his left-hand side. He could have just played the tree, but he didn't. Also, mistake number 3, when he cracked our plates, I'm going to assume the enemy had full plates. He should have pushed us. The guy we were spectating was not peeking both sides of that tractor, which he should have been doing while he was plating. So because of that, we were blinded. The enemy had a perfect opportunity to get a kill off and get the W. It's small things like these guys that will really dictate your gunfights. If you guys want to learn how to get better at gunfights, you need to take notes in every video we do of different gunfights, because most of the time there are mistakes being made. Sometimes, you know, it's just raw skill. Who's better than who? But most of the time when these guys die, it's usually due to a fatal common mistake. And look, again, the purpose of these videos is not to show you high octane gameplay. If we get some, cool. If we don't, even better. I want to show you guys how the average Call of Duty player plays. Doesn't matter if your KD is a 0.5 or 1.5. Usually if you're below a 2 KD, and usually there are exceptions to the rules, so don't get butthurt, but usually if you're below 1.5, you're playing somewhat like this. And again, I want you guys to enjoy the videos and take something out of them. Approach these videos with an open mind and ask yourself, am I doing these things in a video game? Because 9 times out of 10, you guys are at least making one of these mistakes throughout every single gameplay. And until you break out of these bad habits of slow gameplay, not navigating the circle correctly, going for easy kills, putting yourself in a bad position, not keeping your awareness up and scanning every corner, you will have a hard time in Warzone. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel today. But until next time, you have a good one and good luck in Warzone.